Very nice.
Good thing, right?
It's quite a large one.
Awesome.
So, being a London dry gin, you have to be water white, clear. You're not allowed to add any artificial flavours, essences, colourings. So that's what makes a London dry gin. It's just Nutrigrain spirit, botanicals all distilled at the same time, and then bottled, no sugars, nothing artificial, no colourings are allowed in the glass to be London dry gin. Have a little smell. Now, my little top tip when you smell is to have your mouth open slightly when you smell through your nose. I appreciate we all look stupid, but
There is a difference.
just copy my lead. Yeah. You look like a gulping fish, but there's a difference, right? You actually smell more because the aroma of this goes up the nose and it goes up to what's called the olfactory bulb.
It's up.
There's a muscle right at the top of your nose that's connected with little nerve endings straight to your brain. So
Yeah.
it tells you straight away what you're smelling.
Yeah.
And by having your mouth open, you're sucking air through your mouth and up the retronasal passage to the olfactory bulb. So yeah, it heightens the...
Yeah.
That's why, as a kid you had medicine, maybe you had some really disgusting medicine as a kid. If you pinch your nose, it does the opposite. And you take the medicine and then you don't taste it. Until you unpinch your nose. So ideally you then have some
Oh,
water.
yeah.
But yeah, cheers.
Positive.
Shot.
So this is our classic Sapphire. 10 botanicals, vapor infused London dry gin. So like I said, we don't boil the botanicals, we vapor infuse them separately. So we extract the natural flavours, and it's done at about a 60-degree temperature difference. When you boil it, it's about 140 degrees C. Vapor infusion's around 80 degrees C. So what we're trying to do is not cook and caramelise all the natural sugars in things like the licorice that's sweet. The juniper is actually quite sweet as a natural botanical. We don't want to boil them and cook them and caramelise the sugars when they're boiling and touching the hot copper inside the still. So that's why we vapor infuse. It's not necessarily better or worse, it's just different, but basically I feel that it represents the flavour of the juniper in a sort of brighter, greener, fresher way, rather than a cooked and caramelised way. It's a bit like the difference between cooking a steak on the barbecue or sous videing it. Now, one method isn't better or worse than the other, because I freaking love a steak on the barbecue, but I also love sous vide steak. So, on the barbecue, you've got that charring on the steak. When you sous vide meat, you put it in a water, in a bag, in a fat packet, put it in a water bath, and cook it that way for 3.5 hours or whatever, 56 degrees. Still cook the meat, but you're not getting that charring. But the texture's different. And that's what I think happens with this. When you taste this, you've got that creaminess that comes from vapor infusion, but also from the bitter almonds, gives that texture in the palate.
Very creamy.
Oh my god, you catch my eyes. This Philippines brand, Ginebra. Gin.
Yes. Yeah, so they do about 25 million 9-litre cases. So we do 5 million, they do 25 million. And about 98% of it is drunk in the Philippines.
Oh my god. That's why I said it straight up. Oh, that's our brand.
And people drink it with Coke over there, I think.
Sometimes
Like a vodka
Coco is
Coke?
straight, or some other people like
Or
to
lemon,
mix or
Fanta
we have a lime juice to mix it.
Yeah.
And then the lime juice on the top, and we just strip it, and then they mix it all together. It's like this, and the two butters together.
Yeah.
That's where we mix it.
Fair enough.
It's weird. It's got some weight to it. It's smooth to drink, but it feels dense.
Like heavier.
Yeah.
Which is the bitter almonds and things like the... So I think first of all you're getting the citrus, the juniper and the earthiness from it. And then once you taste it and you swallow...
The compound agents.
Those floral, peppery spice notes of the grains of Paris and Cubras then come through. So for some reason there weren't any in. The ones I ground up in your hand in the glass house? They are the grains of paradise, so tiny little seeds. And these are the Cuba berries.
Yeah.
As you were saying about the tail.
Yeah, that one.
Those ones don't really smell of much, but they have a massive flavour. They're also an aphrodisiac. You get some citrus, some chocolate, coconut kind of vibes.
Did it
going
smell
on.
like a...
Yeah. You take some with you or eat it. It will probably ruin your palate. Well, do it right now, but...
Don't eat.
I eat it.
It's poisonous.
Huh?
So,
Are you serious?
No.
are you guys gin drinkers anyway?
Oh.
Like on a
Yeah,
bar,
I
you
am,
like gin,
I
or do you
am.
like rum or vodka?
I am a
Oh well,
really
this is
gin.
just a flavoured vodka, right?
It is.
So
I'm a gin
Lots of
fan.
cocktails.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bring my auntie.
if you were having gin, how would you drink it? As a cocktail or
Martini probably.
martini? Cool.
This is the first time I've had gin.
Lots of
What,
ice.
what would you
tonic.
normally drink?
What's
it
the
Pink gin.
Okay. Oh, so strong
Yeah.
flavoured stuff.
That's good.
What do you think?
Huh?
Oh,
That's
no, it's
definitely.
nice. It's nice. That's like I've always stepped away from it because botanicals are so like present
Yeah.
inside gin, and so you can always taste whereas I prefer like a brandy or whiskey where
Oh, didn't smell.
Oh yeah. Give me some sense.
it's not too like flavorful, but
Yeah.
you still get like a very like different.
Yeah, it can be very earthy. Botanicals can be. But then obviously you get like Hendrix is very floral
Yeah.
and cucumbery. Things like Beefeater is very citrusy. Something like Portobello Road can be quite earthy. Yeah. Spicy. Well, you got Affair is quite spicy. So some gins are very one-dimensional. I would say like Gordon's and Tanqueray can be really piney, but there's not much else going on. Whereas our gin, I think there's quite a roller coaster ride of flavour. It's more complex. So you've got the pine, there's citrus, there's earthiness, there's floral notes, and there's spice notes. So really, when you go out cocktails, you can take it in lots of different directions. So like you said, Sapphire will work at a martini, like, and a gin tonic, because I mean, really, if you're a gin, you've got to work at gin tonic, because that's kind of probably how 75% of all gin is drunk is gin tonic.
Oh yes, me.
Whether you agree with it or not, like, because I know some people don't like tonic because it's bitter, but like you had ginger ale, don't like tonic because it's bitter, so then go
I
ginger
prefer
ale.
slim tonic. Slim tonic.
Oh, it's not
It's
me.
not dry enough.
Oh,
What's the reason for tonic?
Yeah, who came up with gin and tonic? Who came up with that?
Started
Tonic.
in India. I believe it
India.
started in India like 200 odd years ago because they were trying to ward off malaria. So malaria is obviously with the mosquitoes in India is quite bad.
Yeah.
So they realised that cinchona bark, the quinine in cinchona bark helps to ward it off.
yeah.
But it's disgusting, I was saying, it's really bitter. So then they would have steeped it with water, and then they would have added sugar, they would have added lemongrass to add extra flavour and other
Yeah.
botanical flavours, similar botanicals to what's in gin that have made tonic. It's quite bitter. And then to make it more palatable, they added gin to it, to the tonic, to make a drink. So, you know, the sundown, 6 o'clock at night, I guess the Indian people, been working hard all day, go and grab a gin tonic, and it's helping ward off malaria. Nowadays, Fever-Tree people tell us you'd have to have something like 24 bottles of tonic every day for the amount of quinine that's in it to ward off malaria. So it's kind of it's not really practical because that would be like 48 gin tonics a day, which is definitely not practical. Yeah. So yeah, gin tonic's big. So that's the piney, the martini. If you want to hero the citrus in the gin, then like Tom Collins, French 75. Aviation would be floral. Love an aviation. It's a hero of the spice notes, maybe a Bloody Mary. So the original Bloody Mary was a red snapper. It wasn't vodka, it was gin based originally, red snapper.
Oh.
So you can do that with gin. And then the last one, I guess, if you want to hero the earthiness of gin, like the Angelica flavour, if you like that, then something like a Negroni.
Oh yeah.
Like that is the number one trending cocktail right now in the world for gin. I know overall the number one trending cocktail is an espresso martini. But for gin, it's Negroni.
Yeah.
Have you seen that trend actually on? Not on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but I heard on TikTok. Espresso martini with parmesan.
Oh yeah.
What have you
There's
seen?
one on Negroni as well. That takes off on Negroni. Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, when I saw the parmesan one on the espresso martini,
Yeah.
I did. You'll see on my Instagram. It's at Sapphire Samc. Just say. But one of the last pictures was I did a Negroni sour. So basically a Negroni, but with lemon and sugar and egg white, shaken, reverse dry shaken, and then do Parmesan cheese on top. Amazing. Because Parmesan's slightly salty, right?
Yeah.
And you can add Ceylon syrup or solution or salt to cocktails to emphasise them. And it also adds an extra creaminess, mouthfeel. So that sort of butteriness that we were talking about with the gin, that creaminess, so actually it really works.
Yeah.
Or maybe like go for pecorino as well, a bit more flavour. sounds mad, like cheese on top of a cocktail.
Sounds
What's going to be next? Like free?
Sounds like my style.
Oh, really?
There's already cactus in the pudding, and now it's like a starter.
Sadly, I don't. When I did that photo, I brought cheese from home because we didn't have it.
What is it called? What is it called?
I called it a Negroni sour with parmesan.
So what is
That's
this?
a very special name for it.
Normal cocktail, it's just cheese on top.
Yeah. Just,
But how much did you put? Too much? Like cover it all? Just a little bit.
because for the photo, I did quite a lot because I wanted to like pile up on top, and I think you kind of need to. I think if it caught on as a trend, I think you need to pile it on.
No, like it's this. Really, just...
No, like pile it on. Because then if you're doing it at the bar in front of somebody and you're like,
What if you gas heat it on top?
yeah, you could, it would melt.
No, but like, just like
Yeah, blowtorch.
Yeah,
Blowtorch. And then you crisp. I mean, you'd probably end up cooking it off and eating it, I suppose. You wouldn't be able to drink it, right?
Maybe we just do the top.
Actually, if you melt, if it melts a little bit, then it's gonna make you drink more.
I like your thinking though. There was we bought some snacks for an event a while back, and there were pecorino and rosemary gin and tonic crisps, or like biscuits. Oh my god, they were off the charts. But they were £8 a fucking packet, and there was only like 10 in the packet, and you're like, this is ridiculous. Like £8 for a packet of biscuits, and they were only that big. But they were delicious. Yeah. Okay, so that was Sapphire. I know some of you made a gin tonic with Sunset downstairs, but I thought we'd try it. Again, I've cut it with water. Spilt it a bit more. Actually, have I? No?
So normal Bombay is how much percent?
40.
And this
We,
one's
we
40,
actually,
yeah?
40,
Is
yeah.
that water from the?
So I purified this in one of those Brita filters.
Okay.
So it's, yeah, pretty pure.
I thought you brought from the.
No. It's, yeah. It'd be very similar because the filter process is similar. So yeah, this one's the 10 botanicals in Sapphire, plus mandarin peels, tamarind, and cardamom, white cardamom. We played around with green and black cardamom, but white was better. Like we didn't want too much smokiness to it, essentially. So, everyone finish their glass.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
What did you say? Open your mouth and you smell. You forgot.
And spread your legs.
Spread your legs.
Do that later once we finish. It does make massive amount of difference.
Yeah.
It's like hearing. They taught us it in cadets if you're listening far away open.
Straight away on the smell,
More citrus.
yeah, you can really
Yeah,
get that
citrusy,
mandarin, like
yeah.
citrus for sure. We didn't want it to smell like a curry in a glass. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I love curry. I got curry for dinner tonight, but like you don't want to necessarily drink it, but you want a bit of a nod towards those lovely curry aromas.
Very nice.
So this gin is a lot bolder than Sapphire, I'd say. A bit more one-dimensional, so it's not so delicate. So it's going to work well in something like a Negroni. I also like it with, if I'm having a gin tonic with this, I'll have it with half tonic and half coconut water.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it takes the fizziness down a little bit, but that sort of coconut vibe, along with, you know, the spices, which a bit like a Thai stir fry or, you know, that kind of thing.
Very nice. As long as I pour, come on.
Yeah, it's definitely bigger, bolder, more one-dimensional, spicy. This in a Bloody Mary would be lovely.
Summer. Just sit on the porch and drink that.
Yeah, I suppose we called it Sunset because we thought, oh, you know, it's a gin for that sort of perfect time of day when day becomes night, you know, 6 o'clock in the evening, sun's going down,
Sparrows and
have yourself to a
going
gin
over.
tonic or a ginger ale kind of thing.
It was light on the saffron.
So,
It was light.
I'll see you later on, but like, excuse me, well, man.
yeah, I cut it down with water. Yeah, 40.
The thing is, my friend, because we love the smell, who live now in Brighton, we love like gin, and every time we always say gin.
That's a new one, yeah?
Yeah, have you seen this one at all?
No.
No.
In for a treat. This, I probably should have done this one before the other one actually, to be fair. It's higher strength, it's 47% ABV. Yeah, going up, exactly, yeah. 47%, but it's very much on the citrus side, so there's less spice and less earth use to this. So Premier Cru is so cool because it's all about the most premium botanicals. They're botanicals from one specific year, and actually it's got vintage on it. These are botanicals from the 2022 harvest, and we can trace the botanicals back to a 50-feet radius for this gin. So like the Fino lemons in this that are grown in Spain, we know the patch of land 50 feet radius where they're grown. Wow. They're then hand peeled, dried. We trace those to here. We make the gin. We trace them to the bottling. We know exactly where things come from.
It's good when a bad batch comes over, you can go and tell the exact person off.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, so that here is the Fino lemons. It's got a bit of navel oranges in there. You know, the big, I think they're navel oranges, the really big, these ones, really big oranges. And mandarin peel as well. That's water.
Are you a gin? Do you drink mainly gin?
I love all alcohol responsibly.
Hey! Welcome to
answer.
the club.
You know, I was a bartender from 18 to 30,
Right.
so 12 years, and then got the Bombay job at 30, so now I'm 44. So that whole time, yeah. I think my mum.
Bacardi all in the same family.
Sorry.
Bombay, like Bombay, Bacardi, all these
Same.
guys in the same family.
Yeah, Bacardi is a family company, and they bought. So basically,
They
in
bought over, yeah.
1997, Bacardi bought Bombay Sapphire and Dewar's whiskey, Aberfeldy, some of those northern whiskey distilleries. They bought them from Diageo because Diageo had just merged a load of companies, and they had a monopoly on booze. So the government in America told them to sell off some brands. They'd just bought 6 months earlier. So Diageo has things like Gordon's, Tanqueray, Smirnoff, Guinness, Johnny Walker, those kind of brands. Bacardi merged with Martini and also got Sapphire, Dewar's. They then did Grey Goose, Patron in more recent years for sure. We did have that. That's now with Brown Forman.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
We've got Saint Germain, Noli Prout, Martini, Benedictine. Yeah, Patron's the next big one for us. Tequila. But you were saying about so personally, I love wine. I used to be a wine sommelier.
Oh, really?
I love bourbon, but probably my biggest passion after gin is pisco.
What's Pisco?
Pisco, it's a Peruvian sugarcane spirit. Sort of like cachaça, but it has to come from Peru, and it's made from grapes, a grape-based
Is it
alcohol.
rum or is it?
Sort of like like a cachaça. Yeah, sort of like a rum,
Yeah.
sugarcane, but not aged for as much as a rum.
Like Peruvian rum.
Yeah, like cachaça, for a caipirinha,
Right.
that sort of thing. So you make a pisco sour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just delicious. Yeah.
Very
So yeah, I like aviations, I like Tom Collins. I've got a cocktail to show you to see if you guys like it. I've got a few cocktails to show you actually. Should.
Gonna do any classics?
What cut was more good?
Any classics?
Cocktails? Yeah, Tom Collins, Frank 5.
Just got the best job.
Negroni.
Chat and drink.
I didn't used to like Negronis, actually. It took me a fair few years to get into it. When it comes to martinis, I'm guilty of, when I worked in London for many years, I'm guilty of doing the naked martinis, whereby you take the gin out of the freezer and you'd spritz the vermouth through the air and waft the glass through it and then pour it. And we thought we were the freaking coolest kids in town, doing this, serving it. But actually, as you get older, you realise you need dilution. Like it helps open it up, and like Duke's Bar does it. They're so strong, and is it that enjoyable? I'm not sure. So I like a bit of dilution. I like sherry in my martinis, like Manzanilla, sherry and a wetter vermouth. Which in fact I have made one for you. So we'll have this, and then we'll have a martini if that's all right with you. Oh, yeah.
Bartenders.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, alcohol.
Okay, so yeah, Premier Cru. Here we go. By the way, this is a piston funnel that I what do they call it? Half-inch borrowed, stole from an old place where we were. Just you know.
Come on, birthday girl.
I'm waving.
Yeah, so you got a birthday. Is it literally today your birthday?
It's your birthday, girl. Come on, move your ass.
Oh, you can't ask me that. That's why not?
Not the drink as well.
17.
Did you say 7?
Oh, that's quite strong. That's right.
23.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Nice.
You went 2.
Yeah, I was going to say 28.
Oh my
Joking.
That's quite strong. That's right.
Cheers, or happy birthday. We won't embarrass you by singing happy birthday quite yet. We'll wait for another couple of drinks. The singing gets better then.
It's really strong.
Lemony.
Yeah.
So in Sapphire, we actually use 2 types of lemon. We use Verna lemons and Fino lemons. They're just 2 different types of lemon. With this one, we focus in on the Fino lemons. It's a much cleaner, fresher variety of lemon, essentially. And that's what you should get. It's less, I would say this gin is less complex than Sapphire. Sapphire, there's a bit more of a journey going on in the flavour profile. This one's more one-dimensional, but it's very citrusy, it's piney, there's that earthiness, but there's not much spice to it. There's not so much floral, it's very much on the citrus vibe.
That's why.
So obviously it's going to work in citrus cocktails
Slowly.
like a French 75 is engineered for, really.
We need more water.
Did you say gin cocktails are better, like, with like less ingredients?
With peanuts.
Yeah, I suppose if you go too many, it'll just disguise the base. Whereas something like tequila and bourbon is so powerful anyway, you'd need a lot of ingredients to, if you were going to overpower it with something.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Singapore Slim, which has like 8-9 ingredients.
Huh?
But then that's
You cannot taste the
sort
salt.
of famous. Yeah, exactly. You could use any gin that
Because
generally
Singapore
tastes the
don't
same.
do
So you're right.
Like a vodka, you can just mix a lot of flavors because vodka really doesn't have flavor, but
Yeah.
with the gin,
Yeah.
there's so many.
This one is quite
But there are some
strong
good
and
vodka, like
if it
I
was mixed
enjoy
something, it
drinking
could be
Absolute
nice.
Vodka. I know we don't own it,
It's
but
a
Absolute
lot-
Vodka actually is amazing, just neat over ice. The texture, you know, when we talk about the texture in this, like the texture of that is phenomenal because it's wheat based, and wheat helps to give a really creamy mouthfeel. But yeah, you're right. The vast majority of vodkas is just a blank canvas for alcohol to get pissed. But there are some great vodkas out there for sure.
That's why I'm a vodka drinker.
There you go. But it gets a bad rap though, doesn't it? Vodka.
Understandably.
Yeah.
0 to 100 as fast as possible.
Finlandia vodka, very tasty. It used to be one of our brands. When we were Bacardi Brown Foreman, that was one of like with Chambord and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty tasty. Like that. Probably fair.
It's really strong, this one, the new one.
Yeah, exactly.
This is new.
I remember, so when I worked in London in like 2003, 2004, we had a vodka called Ultimate Vodka in Poland, and it came in this blue bottle, right, almost like this colour blue. Big heavy bottle. It was like 45 quid a bottle, which back then that was a serious. That'd be like paying 90 quid now, I'd say. Yeah, that was phenomenal.
What was it?
It's called Ultimate. What percentage? It was still only 40% ABV. Yeah, it wasn't high strength, 40%. Gorgeous bottle. Probably a lot of the money went in the packaging, to be fair.
Yeah. But like clean was.
Yeah, no, yeah, it wasn't rough. It was, yeah, very clean. What do you reckon out of those 3? Which is your favourite?
Yeah, this is really quite strong, to be honest, the new one.
Yeah, I like the Bombay stuff.
That's
Yeah.
really quite strong. The most.
Okay.
But the star one, the Bombay star one, is it star? The one that you know. Is it star?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
one,
was
I really like that one.
Star Bombay, and it was 14 botanicals.
Yeah.
So that was based on Sapphire, but we actually changed the balance of it a little bit, the ratios, and then it's got Ambretta seeds in there, bergamot from the mountains of Calabria, then there's 2 types of angelica, 2 types of coriander. We had the seed in the root, so we played around with it a little bit.
I remember because when we said we're not gonna order anymore, I drink half a bottle.
Just make sure you get
Yeah.
enough in.
More alcohol. Oh.
400 milliliters.
So I'm going to make you a martini. I've rested this in the freezer overnight because obviously, yes, I knew you were coming. So I've gone for Manzanilla sherry, which comes from San Luca del Barrameda, right in the south of Spain. A dry sherry. And what happens is all the salty sea air blows over the grapes that are grown right by the sea. So you get a saltiness to the grape. And then we use a little bit of Noy Prat vermouth, because obviously you've got to have vermouth in your gin to do martini. And then the Premier Cru in there as well. And then use my favourite Harry Potter wand. So this is a juniper branch soaked in dry vermouth. Because you know why? Doesn't everyone have one? Not so much. One of my previous jobs in Bombay was to host bartenders in our botanical fields, over there. And so I asked one of the farmers, obviously in my fluent Italian, could I snap a bit of juniper branch off the bush? And he looked at me like I was killing his livelihood, because I didn't take one, I took like a whole freaking few sticks. But I just thought it'd be fun to like have this and then like soak it in vermouth, a tray of vermouth, and then have that as the one to use to stir martinis. Whether it adds any flavour is, negligible.
I have a story.
Yeah, and what I probably think, because wood doesn't conduct temperature, actually if you use a metal spoon, the metal would get cold, which means you're taking away temperature out of the martini, potentially. Again, it's about the story rather than the technicalities, I imagine, but
Next time we go to work,
so there you go.
Good job. How many tasters are there?
yeah, 2 cocktails before we came here.
How many people taste the Bombay?
Yours.
I'm already dead, man.
Oh my god, you kids. How do you drink?
Eight people taste it. Eight people taste it before they sign it off.
Right.
So then master done it, and then one of the other trainees. Yeah. And then so it's tasted. Each batch tasted, and then you see that through that window. There's a tank farm the other side, big 100,000 litre tanks. They then put say 10 to 12 different distillations in a tank and blend it together. And then that's sent off in big, like a petrol tanker, but obviously it's never had petrol in it.
Yeah.
It's food grade tanker, 32,500 litre. They fill that with the gin at 86.29% ABV, tanker it to Scotland. They then pump it into a tank. They rest it there for 3 days because it's been sloshing around on the journey, it needs time to settle. Then it's pumped with the water in line and to fill the bottles.
Interesting.
Okay, so a little martini here.
You've done this before.
Yeah, but his was shaken, not stirred, right?
Not
I did-
stir, but stick.
I did once do a shaken and stirred martini because they say that you shouldn't. They do say that you shouldn't shake vermouth. So I used to shake the gin just to chill it and get a bit of dilution. Then add the vermouth and stir it. So it's a shaken and stirred martini. So you're getting cold and not too much dilution.
Does it not like break down the molecules when you're shaking
Sorry?
and stirring and stuff like that?
Does it
like break down the molecules? Or...
Well,
I know,
not-
like, with
'cause
wine
I'm
and
not-
stuff, you're
I
not
wasn't
meant to-
shaking the vermouth though. That was a key thing. So I shake the gin and ice. I don't know why I'm speaking. And then you add the vermouth and then you stir it. So hence it's shaken and stirred, just to be different.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
The birthday cake is special, huh?
Really?
Oh my god, you're so thank you.
Interesting.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, team.
Cheers.
Oh my.
Cheers.
Muzzle
Oi.
sauce.
Good to meet you.
Fine.
Cheers.
Delicious.
Hey, thank you.
Cheers, cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Cheers.
Next.
Oh, I like it, the smell.
So that's with Premier Cru. Noi Prav vermouth, so dry vermouth, and then the salty sherry definitely comes through, and that's been set in the freezer overnight, just mingling together, chilled, and then obviously dilution with the ice there.
Definitely get that salt in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Very nice.
So it's quite nice. It's not too boozy, not too alcoholic, like those literally ones straight from the freezer with no diet. I think dilution, like I said, is important.
Very nice.
I never drink dry martini, but like you can tell the lemon peel makes so much difference.
Yeah.
So much difference.
And I like it, you know, see where I did it?
Oh, this is
I
my
sprayed
first
it in
time
the glass
drinking
first,
martini.
and then I added the gin to it.
It's nice.
Whereas if you have it first and then you spritz it at the top,
Ah!
you quite often
yeah,
you'll
like
lose
a blood
those
guy.
volatile oils off the
Open
atmosphere.
it, pour it in the
And
glass.
and also if you do manage to
Yeah.
put them on top, there'll be like an
Oh,
oil
with
slick on
olives.
top of the glass.
Oh.
And then that first sip, they'll all go in that one instant. And then when your second sip, there's no lemon. Whereas because I did it first and you pour on top, that helps wash it all together.
And you don't
So
even
every
need to
sip
leave
will
the
be.
lemon peel inside.
Not the little
Nah.
It's not the flavour.
Because the problem with that is like it just slides around
need the
and
fresh
like, you know, like hits you in the face. Kind of.
Juicy.
Quite a lot of olives on the side.
I
or
used
something.
to do it with orange peel, and I love that.
Yeah.
Just more sweeter, I don't know.
No, you're right. I love. I do Star Bombay with Martin Bianco, orange bitters, and then lemon and orange peel twist. That's.
Sometimes we stir with orange peel.
Go.
What?
Good idea. Would you like any? Are you hungry? Would you like some crisps?
Oh, nuts. We're talking.
Orange?
Use it spend. That's very nice.
That last pour of the day.
That's why I told you we need to buy crisps.
Yeah. I only do one a day if I'm lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's if you do two tours, man, God, man.
There's no fun in the first one.
It's at half time at a football match. Indeed.
Is this your early tour today?
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, the next one you'll be like, right. Let's go.
I normally do like, I think pre-pandemic I'd do one a day. Now it's like one or two a week. But I train the team here as well on the bars, and I train all the other ambassadors around the world. Do some virtual trainings. So I'm like a train the trainer, so I'll train the other ambassadors around the world. That kind of thing.
So you just basically tell them what to do at the bars around.
You're the best big man, yeah?
Well,
Boss.
Big boss.
in a nice way.
Take it.
So that means you know so many people are around. It's not just England, is it?
No, 168 countries that we're in as
So you know
well.
all the
I was
ambassadors
thinking
around.
comparing
Yeah,
like
there's not an ambassador in
Because I'm
every
vegan.
single
Yeah.
market because some are, I don't know, like Estonia. They're not going to have a dedicated ambassador because there isn't the business there.
How about Croatia?
But then, no, we don't say.
Because I was looking.
But then America, we have 7 people in
Yeah.
America because it's such a vast country and it's our biggest market as well.
Only 7.
Why not you?
Yeah, you're right. Actually, there should be. If we could afford
for
it,
every
there'd be
state.
one for every state. Yeah.
ambassador.
Imagine, like,
No, just try
how
to
many
make
states you
see
have?
make it very ambitious. That's really good.
But you don't have a
Ken, they wanted to be manager.
distillery in every state.
I've stopped.
No, this is the only one
I
for the world.
started, and then I was
Every
like,
But
market
like
in the
meals
world.
are.
I'm
Yeah, that's for you.
tired
In fact,
and
I'm
cold.
making. If you ever look at the back, there's a recipe.
Little
That
for your-
cocktail I'm making right
I'm
now for
already
you.
almost 40.
Pleasure.
So
My-
Physically, you're 20.
Bombay.
My dream never stopped.
For the world.
My dream, I want
make
to run
every
my
job
own resort.
a Bombay
I've been
here.
managing.
For the world.
You're almost 40.
For
where
you,
is your
all bottles
resort?
get sent out.
I'll work for you. It's
Yeah.
just money.
From here to Scotland, and then
Hi guys, welcome to Punter.
The Philippines.
Oh,
Not
wow.
in
In America.
It's so hot, living like so hot.
Unusual.
Rain. What's a rain?
Little.
4-5 states.
I like you with
Because that's one of
The,
my
the guys over there flying.
have to run
They'll
my
mainly-
episodes.
To be honest, they pick and choose the major market. Sorry. So actually, they'll have a guy that just looks after New York.
Okay.
And then one guy would just look after LA. So they pick and choose where the business is and focusing on that city.
So let's say some town.
I like it. And now I like to try martini.
They wouldn't have a
Yeah. But then if they see an opportunity, then they'll fly in.
I might have made that.
My guy, Gary,
Maybe we shouldn't have had
started a
cocktails.
couple of years after me. I trained him up here. In
I thought it was going to be
Leeds.
like a.
And
You
he
know,
trained
like
him up
this.
here, and he went off on his merry way. He was a young lad, bit of a wide boy, and he went off to America. And
That's good.
he'd be his.
Get the
I
camera.
don't know how he achieved it, but his record was he did 7 flights in one day. So he would fly from one town to another. And getting a flight in America is like getting a train.
Yeah.
So he'd fly in, there'd be 120 people, masterclass already set up. He'd walk in, he'd know it's Tom Collins or whatever, it's all set. He'd present on stage for an hour, and then he'd walk off. Someone else clears up after him.
And then
I don't have that luxury here, sadly. And then he'd get on a flight and then into the next town. The next time he did 7 in one day, which is just bonkers.
that was
One
that
guy-
just because of the record.
Okay, yeah.
Is that just like
That's
the
it.
record?
Yeah.
One of the ambassadors.
It was just
challenge.
like it was a time they were focusing on a particular drink to push a drink out, and they
Okay.
just push. But it's he used to look after the whole country. So he was the only ambassador at the time, which was like 10 years ago. Now
If
there's
you
7
came
ambassadors,
from
so
your
they don't
own
have to do
country,
that crazy.
straight away you know what is your brand.
So
I
I
straight away.
I used to get an
It's
ambassador
straight away.
because I won a lot of
Yes,
cocktail
drinking.
competitions. So it
Oh.
was pre-social
Because-
media really when I did it.
No, but they're looking
Instagram was
kind of
before
seen all over the
Actually,
world.
Instagram
Look,
wasn't available.
I can
Obviously,
see.
Facebook was around.
And I can say,
So I
oh,
win
wow.
competitions.
Yeah,
you
and
get
then I
your,
say,
your face,
oh,
your cocktails
in the middle.
publications. So then
Ginebra.
the brands will flip through, see this guy.
Ginebra,
oh, he's
you
winning a
know, say
lot.
that
Oh, cool.
there's
He's
an angel
comes across
and the
nicely.
demon.
Then it's all
Middle
about
one.
the brands come to you and say, hey, we'd love you to be the face of our brand because you represent the brand well.
Say Ginebra.
Yeah.
I was knowledgeable on gin
Ginebra,
anyway.
how you call it. There's old
Let's go Benji. Benji.
Yeah, yeah.
Benji,
Yeah,
Fab.
definitely, yeah. Like Saint
Hey.
But down that one, that's Philippine brand.
From the picture.
Yes,
Ah, I
picture.
see.
Since I was child, that's the size.
Memory.
Yeah.
So
I said, Philippine brand. I said,
I thought you meant the one to the left.
no, I think the new one, Ginebra, is next to the tall one. That's the new one version of gin nowadays. But I found, last year I went home, and then I found there's like a new one gin again. It's a,
Focus on your job.
No, I'm sick of it.
Time in.
I'm drunk because I'm.
no.
As in what?
So much fun. It's so cool. Getting some history lessons.
It's so nice, it's so flattering. You're one of your country. Yeah.
Really, really good. So many.
And as he was saying about King, sorry, something he didn't bring up. So Queen Victoria, who was discussing the person who's outside front, was Empress of India.
Oh yeah, yes.
So the Indian money was printed here. She would have been the one on Facebook and
Oh.
sent it back. Quite interesting.
Yeah.
You make something you post it.
Yeah, but
She fell in love with an Indian man.
Well, remember the movie?
Victoria
Did you watch
Napoli.
it? Yeah.
You watch it?
I haven't, but I saw the trailer. I need to watch it. It's nice. Okay.
It's so wonderful.
I
And it's true.
Oh, it's true.
They show pictures at the end.
Oh.
oh, next week. Too much ice for gin.
Never too much ice. Never too much. Less dilution. Because this drink is called. I'll wait until she comes back.
But doesn't add a mixer kill
Cheers.
the smoke.
This one, because they don't drink water.
Well, that's the point. Is this mixer is the dilution.
Right.
So you don't want to have too much dilution from the ice. So by having more ice, you'll get less dilution. Because if you only have 1 or 2 ice cubes,
Baba told me off later.
they're going to melt really quickly and add more water, sorry.
Really interesting.
Sorry, I'm with the water. My Baba gonna tell me off later. I'll be careful.
So this one is Premier Edition.
No, this is with Sapphire.
That's Sapphire. And what is it?
Yeah, can we keep the pen?
Oh, that's ours. Is this ours?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for you.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good
Yeah.
thoughtful for her.
That's so kind.
Thank you. Right, what's up now?
Would you say because of your job now, you slow down on the mixology side, or do you still entertain that?
Good
I
question.
It gets easier.
I try to, and to be fair, when I was in London, I was at the height of molecular mixology. So I don't know if you've seen the trend of
You put no
foams,
in the jacket.
you know, nitrous oxide foams. That was me back in the 2000s.
I'm
who
dreadful.
created that, but then it became a bit passé within like 5 years.
Yeah.
Everyone was doing it.
So cute.
Fruit caviars, you know, with the sodium alginate, calcium chloride, reverse verification kind of thing. Did that. Hot cold drinks, candy floss
Ooh,
on
with
drinks.
ginger. Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Doesn't need
So we did all that 20 years ago, and then
Higher,
it's
man. It's
passe,
always
and then you
here.
just do your thing,
It's
and then
always
it all
here.
comes around in fashion. So it's
isn't
all
it?
in
That's all
fashion
the
again.
every time it's
What's now?
yeah?
What do you think is now?
So I've noticed on Instagram,
Oh, no.
foams are massively coming back. So soda siphon with nitrous oxide gas, with like
Part of
puree,
the secret
and
society.
Yes.
that's very much back on trend now.
But it's so hard, man. We used to do that, man, but it's so hard.
But then, and also like have you seen the airs and the flavor blaster guns? Yeah. So we've got one of those.
Gives
So
you
in these cupboards, I've got.
Was it?
I'm not.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't mean to be boasting. Sorry, but
No,
here
please.
we've got. We've got a Rotavac with a dry ice condenser, water bath, fat pack machine, thermomixes, Vitamixes,
nice.
dehydrators.
Yeah.
And we've had that for 13 years now.
So you always come back here. You use it for
Done it, and it all comes back on trend. Yeah. But a lot of that stuff isn't
Cocktails, yeah?
appropriate
We
for
need to keep
high volume bars.
Yeah.
One of them
I
tonight.
don't know. Is your bar?
Ooh.
Make
High
this
volume,
first.
high volume, man. It's like-
Yes.
Really, really cool. Secret society, isn't it? Just
Yes, we are.
So this cocktail is a drink called the Lava Stoke. So this is
Lava
my,
stove.
yeah. That's where you are
Thank
right now.
you.
This is Lava Stoke Mill. This is
Oh,
the
yes.
Lava Stoke.
Yes.
It's my creation in 2014, so I designed it especially for the opening, and it kind of stuck at the menu, and people seem to love it. Because I realised that a lot of people don't like tonic. You know, it's bitter. So I know that ginger ale works really well with our gins, and I know that there's 5 main flavours to Sapphire. You've got that pine, citrus, earthy, floral, and spicy notes. So this cocktail is
dangerous.
um,
You could drink the gallon of that.
yeah, it's a sessionable drink.
Mm.
You know, sometimes you get a delicious cocktail, but you'd only have one because it's like, well, that's nice, but I wouldn't have a few of them.
Yeah.
This one I think is like sessionable. So it's 15ml Saint-Germain, 15ml Martini Bianco, 2 lime wedges squeezed.
Wait,
It's on the back.
Is it the one in
It's
the
on the back
paper?
of.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
I
Yeah,
saved
it's on the
it.
back of
Yeah,
the badge.
That's
15ml
mine.
Sapphire, and then ginger ale, and the mint really lifts it.
Yeah.
Actually, I should have got you to
Refreshment.
try it without the mint and with the mint, but because the do you remember the botanical, the cube berries, the little pepper one?
Okay.
That smells a bit minty mentholated.
Mm.
So this is helping to draw out more of that menthol note within the drink.
That is
Ooh.
lush. That ginger
It's
is
all
really-
about ginger ale, honestly, because
That's first time a cocktail with ginger, yeah?
it's not as spicy as ginger beer. Not everyone loves ginger beer. Like it's a bit Marmite, right? You love it, or you hate it. Ginger ale,
Oh, yeah.
it's kind of on the fence. You know, like it's a little bit spicy, it's a bit citrusy, it's a bit earthy, and that helps lift
Yummy.
the gin.
Oh, I love it.
So you can make a jug of that, like
Yeah.
times the recipe by 4 in a jug.
Cheers,
Yeah,
guys.
home.
It is a port.
I don't
Very
know,
nice
if you have
cocktail.
luxury of having a hot tub or luxury an
Just
outside
having a
space
big
and
one.
just jug
In
of
the
that.
garden.
Delicious.
Oh,
summer's
lovely.
day.
And
Oh,
this
yes.
is our lamb steak
Refreshing.
cocktail. So, and the recipe's on the back of the tin badge.
You like
So
this?
it's
You know, this is the best one. So, the ginger is like
Sapphire,
peppy, you know, it gets you.
That's really cool. Look, the ginger.
It's a big ginger. Well.
And it's only past time, isn't it?
The other neat thing is not only can you batch the drink out in jugs, but you could twist it with a different vermouth. So in the wintertime, we'll tend to do it with Rosso instead of Bianco. You could do it with extra dry if it's too sweet for you. We've done it with Fiero. I love Martini Fiero, so that in this is delicious as well.
Have you guys tried it? Yes.
Yeah, it's the second one already.
Catch up.
Come on, get your glass.
No, I'm still learning how to use the phone. Where's your?
The big one.
Yeah.
You get one.
This is your second. Really?
That's really nice, this one. Thank you very much.
Really?
Pleasure.
Oh, it's refreshing,
Pleasure.
Double
something.
ginger.
Nice.
So what's it called?
It's on the pin badge, but the Laverstoke. So this is where you are.
Lobster.
So obviously we're Bombay Sapphire Gin, but we're made at Laverstoke Mill. So this is the Laverstoke. So we created it for the opening of Laverstoke when we opened in 2014, and then it's now become the most popular cocktail in the bar. So
Understandably.
crazily, only 1.5% of the drinks we make down on the main bar is a gin tonic. When globally it's 75 or 76%, down there it's 1.5%, 35% is this.
Ooh.
Which I guess part of it is like probably, you know, you go to Laverstoke, you want a Laverstoke. I guess a lot of it's
So we have like this, please. I demand now. This is really nice. I'll talk to Jackie. Don't worry. Big investment. This is really nice. I like it.
You'll don't be surprised if I pull this up for the cocktail competition. Just take
Oh, yeah.
There's a cocktail competition.
Do you have an internal cocktail competition?
Yeah.
Will name one the Sam?
Oh yes.
Oh, I could come along and judge it.
Oh.
I'm ready.
You ready? Oh, you sure?
Gin in the afternoon.
Yes.
Yes.
My eyes will never.
Yeah, absolutely.
Highly something.
If we get you guys, do you want to come round? Come round, stand here with your
Get a picture, please.
Someone's gonna have to send
Thank you, Sam.
So